Okay, everybody, welcome back to the next video in this series. I've actually done a bunch of stuff between videos here because I wasn't quite sure exactly how this was going to work out, and it took me quite a while, a lot of tweaking that just wouldn't have been very interesting to watch on video. So I'll go ahead and show what I did. Effectively, I've implemented the gameplay ability system for the character and the rifle that I have right now, and I'm not really quite done. There's probably some cleanup that I should probably go ahead and do. I don't know if I'm going to do that right now or not, but basically I added ability system to my character, an attribute set, the basic attribute set I have, and then I added a couple of abilities to this character. I added the ability to initialize. So this basically, I have an initialize ability that just adds, 100 to the current hit points to initialize the character with 100 hit points. And then I've got this equip weapon ability class and death ability class, and so basically my character right now has the ability to equip a weapon and the ability to die. And what I do is in the equip weapon is very simple. Well, first I initialize them in my constructor, and then I have this equip rifle function, and I call it immediately so that the rifle's equipped as soon as you start up. I don't have a button to click to equip the rifle anymore. I just wanted to make it a little simpler to get everything working. And when you call the equip rifle function, you can see all it does is activate the ability that's in that class. So if I look at my character, and I have this base blueprint that actually implements everything, and then the only difference between the East Soldier and the West Soldier is the mesh that's loaded. So if I look at this base class and I scroll down to the Aspen section, you can see I've just got the initializability class. I've got an initializability set there, and equip, same thing, and then death, same thing. So the death triggers when your hit points reach 0. So basically I have this on health attribute changed event hooked up, and if the value it hits 0, it'll activate the death ability. And if I take a look at these abilities, the equip weapon, so the equipped weapon just sets the weapon equipped boolean and spawns the weapon actor. In this case, just spawns the rifle class that's attached to the character and puts it in the right place, gets the socket to attach to and everything, puts it in the right place, and then calls attach actor to component with the socket name there, sets the equipped weapon, and then calls the equip weapon function on the weapon. And when that happens in the equip weapon function, what I'm doing is I'm grabbing the ability system from the owning character, and I'm adding the fire ability that I've got set for this weapon. So then if we look at the weapon, the rifle, which is the only weapon I have implemented at the moment, if we look at the rifle, you can see I've got this ability, this fire ability set on it. So that fire ability gets basically added to the character, and then when the character fires the weapon, that ability fires as well, and that's just in in the weapon class. In the character, there's a fire. When fire gets triggered, we just call the equipped weapons fire method. And if we looked at the equipped weapons fire method, it's just activating that fire ability. So then in that fire ability is where all that logic goes, right? So if we look at that fire ability, weapon fire, it's going to do a bunch of stuff. So it gets the muzzle socket location right here, and it first it fires the effect, the weapon fire effect, which all that does is it fires the gameplay cue that causes the Niagara system that has the muzzle flash to fire. Then it does a line trace from the end of the weapon, and if it hits anything, it then does a check, and it says, did I hit a character or did I hit something else? And right now, if it hits something else, it just ends. If it hits a character, that's when it applies the effect to the target that lowers the hit points. This is I think the weapon hit soldier, right? When a weapon hits a soldier, it lowers the hit points on that soldier. And then I've also got this logic here that if it's not a character, it executes this gameplay, which just shows the bullet hit Niagara system. This right here, in addition to lowering the hit points, also fires a gameplay cue that causes the blood spatter Niagara system to fire. So that's basically how that's all hooked up. And this is my most complex ability at the moment. And I think it's not too bad. It's pretty straightforward. I'm not very good at organizing my blueprints. That's why I don't like them so much. They turn into sort of spaghetti. But I'm sure someone who's good at organizing their blueprints could make this look a lot better, and it wouldn't be too bad at all. So this basically moves all the logic for firing the weapon out of my C++ code and into this blueprint. But at the same time, it gets me all of the networking that needs to happen to make everything show on every client. It's automatic. So I don't have to write RPC methods myself anymore, which was causing me to have a lot of code that was a little bit hard to follow. So I think this is a little bit nicer, and this would allow a designer to come in and change what happens when you fire a weapon, which I think is also pretty nice. You don't have to write code to change that. So if we take a look at and I won't worry about the weapon class for now. I actually need, there's no reason anymore for me to have this line trace weapon, because the line trace is now happening in the in the blueprints. I don't actually need this class anymore. I need to remove it at some point. And the only thing I still have in here is the logic to show the crosshair, which I can probably move into the base class and then have some Boolean that turns it on and off if I don't need it. So I'll probably do that. In addition, if we look at my character class currently is about 231 lines of code. And my character class, as it existed before I implemented the gameplay ability system, was about, that's character CPP is about 258. So I've gotten rid of about 30, almost 30 lines of code. And all of that 30 lines of code was just code that was executing RPCs, which, like I said, RPCs can get a little hard to follow for me, so I'm glad to get rid of them. I still have these two because I have to. I could eventually make the aiming into an ability, but for right now, I still have that here in my C++ code. and then setting the aim rotation, which will always be in the C++ code, I think. So that's basically what I've done. I also modified the animation blueprint. I added in the animations, I added aim offsets for when you're holding the rifle, for both holding it at your hip and when you're aiming down the sights. I added blend spaces for both of those. You can look at the aim down sights one. You can see how to do these in other videos, on YouTube. There's plenty of videos that show how to set up a aim offsets blend space. If I hold the control key down and move around, you can see what it does. It just moves the way I'm aiming. And then I modified the animation blueprint to include both of those blend spaces. Now this is not working 100% yet, so I wouldn't really put much stock in this, but basically I just show the different blend spaces depending on whether the is aiming is true or not, and then I layer that. I blend that with the animation that's coming from the motion matching, and I filter it on. I think right now it's Spino 3. I don't have the bone depth set. I need to research that a little bit more, because it's not. You can tell it's sort of working, but it's not quite working right. If I run the game, it should, theoretically, right now it should be moving the weapon up and down, and it's not. But if I aim, it starts to work. You can see it's moving the weapon up and down, but it doesn't move it side to side very well, at least not the way I want. So I need to do a little bit more work there, but not really interested in doing that so much right now. But you can see that I can show you everything still works. I can fire the weapon. I get the bullet hit Niagara system from the gameplay queue, and then if I hit the person, you'll see the blood splatter and they'll die after a couple of hits. One thing I do need to do is the weapon is obviously firing way too fast. That's not going to work. It needs to fire way slower. I need to add a cooldown effect. So I'll do that eventually as well. I don't know if I'm going to do that right at this moment, because you've seen how I added the cooldown effect to the tank in a previous video. It'll basically be the exact same thing, just for the rifle instead. So that's where I'm at. I do think I should probably go ahead. Let me see how my rifle. So if I take a look at the rifle blueprint, it's currently inheriting from the line trace weapon, and I think I don't want that. I think what I want to do, like I said, I don't need this line trace weapon anymore. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this widget and this function here, and I'm going to copy them to my base class. And we'll move this down here. And then we will steal this function. Actually, I need to steal a couple things. One, the widget needs to be initialized, so let's do that in the constructor here. Add the include for this guy. tick function, which I don't have here. I actually need to create, so I'll go ahead and grab this function, move it here, okay, so now I need to add the tick function in. So let's go ahead and grab the tick function definition. Oops, put it in protected here. Generate the definition. And grab this line of code, move it into the tick. And what's the name of the function that's this guy right here that says it can tick? Put that in. And we'll compile this. And I'll pause, wait for that to compile. And I had a couple little oopses here. I still got one. Because, actually, let me just... I didn't want to comment this whole class out because I still have my rifle's still pointed at it, so that's not good. It looks like, there we go. I didn't want to comment out the whole class because, like I said, my rifle is still pointed at it until I can change it. I didn't want to change it until the crosshair was there, so sort of got a little bit of a mess here. I have to comment everything out temporarily. See if I can get this to build. And I also forgot to forward declare the widget component in my weapon class. So let me do that now. Whoops. Takes care of that, and then okay, that should be it. Compile one more time here. Cancel and restart. There we go. Hopefully that does it. Okay, so that finally got it. So what I want to do now is in my rifle blueprint here, I'm going to reparent this blueprint now to my weapon class. And if I take a look now, my crosshair's still here. And if I'm really lucky, it has all the properties still set. And it looks like it does. Okay. So, now that that's done, and I'll save that. And I'll make sure it still works real quick. And it looks like it does. I can still see my crosshair. So, fire doesn't work though. So, what do I need to do here? Fire ability still set. I'm probably, let's see what I'm doing here. Getting the equipped weapon. I think that's, you know what, let me, I think that's still fine. Take a look at my code here. Line trace weapon, all I had was, yeah, so I think, let me replace this. Yeah. Come on. Actually, you know what? I suspect if I just kill the editor and reopen it, everything would be fine. It just, sometimes this live coding, when you change something like that, it just doesn't. Oh, look, it crashed the whole thing anyway. Alright, we'll go ahead and build without the editor started, and I suspect if I then reopen, everything will be fine. I'll pause and wait for that to finish. Okay, I got my editor reopen here. Let's see if the fire weapon firing works now. No, does not seem to. Okay. But I didn't intend for this cleanup to take more than a few minutes, so let me just double check my character. Make sure that the input is still hooked up. It is right there. And the abilities are all still set. Everything looks good on my character. Look at my rifle. And scroll down. The ability system's not set. Doesn't really need to be because I'm grabbing it from the character. But my fire ability's there. Everything looks okay. That all looks good. So then in my abilities, this is where it's going to be broken. I'm guessing right here, I probably need to rework this. Let's get the equipped weapon. Get the mesh. Get the socket location. That should still be good. That should still be good. And Yeah, okay. Alright, let's see what I got now. Still does not want to fire. Also doesn't want to aim. What the hell? Let me kill this editor and launch the debugger so that I can step in. And we're going to go ahead and get rid of this line trace weapon class because I don't need it anymore. Maybe this will give us a clue actually as to what the problem is. Okay, now that that's gone, let me fire the debugger up and we will put breakpoint right there. Okay, now that I've got the editor in debug mode, the equip weapon, okay, let's take a look. Aha, I'm doing that as line trace weapon here somewhere. Rifle class. Where am I getting the equipped weapon at? Oh, the return value from here. Okay, that should take care of that. And when I click the fire button, hit my breakpoint. Let the debugger get everything. There we go. Okay, the owning character, the ability system set, fire ability set, everything's set. There we go. I think it's working now. Let me take that breakpoint out. Yeah, there we go. And let's see what we got here. So that looks like it's working. Okay, perfect. Well, not perfect. Still need the aiming to work right, and I need a cooldown timer. You know what? Let's see. I've been going for 30 minutes. Let me go ahead and add the cooldown timer. Let's do. Let me remind myself how I got this hooked up. So I believe it's using a tag. That may not be set correctly, actually. Cooldown down here. Let's just copy this. Actually, no. Oops. And I'm just going to set this to 0.1. That's what my rifle was set to in C++ code. Keep it from firing repeatedly. And I believe I need to set a tag for this guy. Grant tags to target actor, I believe. And let's see what I did here. Round vehicle, fire cannon, cooldown. So we're going to do weapon. Fire. Come back. Weapon, fire. Cooldown. Okay, weapon fire cooldown is what we're going to add to the actor. or to the ability. If I go back to the ability, I set the cooldown effect. So weapon fire cooldown, and I believe we want to block the ability. Let's see what that does. That doesn't seem to be working. Let me see if my tank is still working properly. Seems to be. So I can't fire right now, so let me take a look again. There's one thing I'm missing. I cannot remember what it is. Ability tags. No. No. Okay, so it's not any of these. So I guess I can get rid of that. Ability trigger. No. Didn't have to do anything in here. Oh, I know what I'm missing. Right here. Okay, commit ability cooldown. Whoops. There we go. Okay, perfect. So that cooldown's working now. Although I do need to make it. I do need to make it at some point that duration get passed in from the weapon, because I have on my weapon class I have I think I have that value. If I look down at my Aspen settings, I still got line trace weapon on there. Fire rate 0.1, so I need to be passing that somehow into the cooldown, so I have to research that a little bit. The one thing I guess I'll go ahead and do before I kill this video is, I think I have to figure out the way I want the aircraft to work. And right now the aircraft has components for its different systems. And this is interesting because I think I'm probably having to replicate. I've probably got some RPCs in here. Actually, it doesn't look like I'm... I wonder if this is working in multiplayer at all. I'm guessing probably not. The lights probably don't work. How about the engine? I've got the Afterburn Niagara component there, but I don't think I'm replicating. Yeah, I'm guessing none of this. I don't think I hooked any of this up with networking, so yeah, it all needs to be hooked into the game playability system somehow. And I don't know if the lights really, they probably don't make sense. Well, maybe they do. Maybe those should be abilities. I'm not really sure. I'll have to think about that. But I know that I do need to come in and add... Let me just copy it from... Actually, let me fix my weapon first. There we go. Fix that property. Now let me... grab the ability system here. Let me put this on the aircraft. And I'm going to want the attributes as well. Grab that from the character. For now, we'll just do the same attribute set, really simple. And we'll have an initialize ability. And you know what, we'll go ahead and make the destroy ability, although I don't know how I'm going to hook that up yet. Okay. Now let me grab my initialization code so I don't have to rewrite it from scratch. And do these. Okay, I'm going to have to add 4 declarations for those as well that I didn't do. And so let me grab my begin play, initialize. I'm going to grab all of this, but obviously I'm going to get rid of some of it. Begin play. Let's put this all up here. This is going to be destroyed. And we're not going to have this equipped for now. And we're not going to hook this up just yet. Not sure why that's... Okay, 4 declarations are all added. does not like this. What's going on here? Oh. I have all three of those. No, don't have the last one. There we go. Yep, that fixes that up. Okay, and I don't have my... You know what, let me go ahead and hook that up. So let me grab the... If our health reaches 0, then we'll obviously want to call the oops. I need to create the don't do it there, darn. Actually, that should work. Okay. So that's that, and then I can uncomment this line of code. There we go. So that's the basics of what I need. I'm going to need a lot more than that, but for now, that's the basics. So now, let's create a new folder in my abilities, call it aircraft. What am I doing? And we're gonna, it's not gonna do anything yet. Make a gameplay effect here. And modify the max health, add, I don't know, 500. And modify health and add 500. Close that. Come back to my ability. initializability. Okay, now if I come into my aircraft, oh, I need to compile. We'll do that real quick and wait for it to finish. I forgot to forward declare my F on attribute change data, so there's probably a couple more errors here. I'm going to go ahead and compile again, see what I got. Actually, it looks like it might go that time. All right. Okay, so the compile finished. Let me come into my F-16, and there's another bit of cleanup I need to do here. I guess I won't do it today. I may not do it on video at all, but this I need a base like fighter jet aircraft so that I'm not having to come in and reconfigure a lot of the basic stuff every time. Because right now, if I make another aircraft, I'm going to come in and fill in all of this stuff. So initializability is going to be my aircraft initialized. Destroyed ability is going to be, oh, I don't have that yet. I'll leave that empty. And so that should initialize my aircraft with 500 hit points. At some point, again, I'll have to decide, do I want to do a more simulator-based damage where I actually detect where hits are happening on the aircraft and damage different systems. But for now, we got 500 hit points, and once they're gone, aircraft is destroyed. Piece of cake. So I'm gonna have to make abilities definitely for the landing gear. I think. Well, no, probably not. I probably won't do the landing gear. You know what? Let me see what I got right now. This is probably not going to work very well, but let me crank this up to 3 and see what I got. Oh, I need to change it to start up with the aircraft. Let me stop this. I need to remind myself before I start this up what the inputs are for the lights. Landing light is L. Position light is K. Let me write this down. Got L, K, and J. Okay. Okay, this is probably going to be slow as hell. I'm going to go ahead and pause while I wait for it to start up. Okay. So, if I click on client 1 and hit K, good lord, J and L, I hit all of them. Well, I see the landing light. Now let me look on client 2. I don't think I see it. Oh, it's really hard. Let me set it back to 1. J should be the strobe. Okay, that's working. Okay. Yeah, okay, I see those two. That's an issue. And L is the landing light. So they're all working, but they don't work at all in multiplayer, which is not surprising. The gear, I think, does work in multiplayer, though. Because it's... I think I'm replicating... Well, at least I was. I did have to rework this plugin at some point. Let me see what I got here. No, maybe the landing gear aren't working. See what I'm replicating here. Okay, the aircraft movement component, which does have the gear and everything on it. Really, I shouldn't be replicating this whole thing. This should all be reworked, but let's see. I just want to see where I'm at real quick before I end the video. Okay. I put my gear up on client 1. No, they don't do anything on the server. Okay, so there's a lot of work to do here. Okay, a lot of work. Okay, well, at least I know where I'm at, so I think I'm going to end this video right here, and in the next one, there's so many things I could do. I'm not sure yet. I'll probably start thinking about how I want to deal with this aircraft and its different systems with the game playability system, and getting the... Maybe I'll have to deal with the networking first, because really the networking needs to be all on the plug-in, and I'm a little nervous about making huge changes to that plugin, because once I do, I'm stuck with my own version. I'll never be able to pull the latest changes, if there are any, from the repo again. It'll basically be my own version. So, but I think I have to do it, because I think all this networking stuff needs to be in that plugin, and so I need to do a lot of work on the plugin. And really, what I really need to do is write my own from scratch. I don't know if I feel like that yet, but that's where I'm headed for sure. Anyway, I'll think about it and see what I want to do on the next video. Until then, take care.